Everyone. It's very common for someone to do a prank for TikTok or online in general, where it starts out very light-hearted, very innocent and simple, but it's somewhat directs, not to a horrible mess, but a sort of bittersweet ending, in the middle perfectly. But of course the person that did the prank, the prankster if you will, didn't intend to go in that direction, but when you start something out, like a video, you can't always predict exactly what direction it's gonna end up in. Especially with silly pranks where it can go in two directions. One, the person catches on quickly that they're in a prank and they laugh or they go along with it, or two, it's still a bit oblivious to it. Meanwhile, the friend and the camera guy getting close to the video oh my god, he believes it, yeah, he believes it. Which, depending on what kind of person you are, you either find that kind of funny or you feel bad, for the person being pranked while the video's going on, and you go against the person that started it all. And I feel like this prank and video is a good litmus test to see where you lie specifically, if you find it funny or if you just really hate the guy recording it. And if you haven't seen before, it's a very simple prank where a guy goes to a restaurant with his friend and he orders a cooked lobster, and while it's on his plate and the waiter, left already, he swaps out a live lobster he had on his bag, to his side, and then calls the guy again and plays the dumb cop, I didn't know we were getting a live one. Am I meant to, is this sanitary to eat a live lobster? Which already, it doesn't sound like that bad of a prank. It actually sounds funny, but from what I saw in the replies, not from the actual TikTok, but from more people reposting it, people seem a little bit hostile to him because they're making it seem that his prank came at the cost of the waiter's job for making it seem like he served them a live lobster. I'll just play the first part of the video because that's not the worst part. It comes more later on, but I feel like it's important to see the first half or the first quarter of it.
Over here. When I ordered the whole lobster, I didn't know it was going to be alive.
What you mean?
It's moving.
Nah, bro.
Which, yeah, like I said, it doesn't sound that bad. The part gets a little bit, hard to watch or, either more funny, depending on, how you react to it, is when, the waiter, which I don't think was the same guy as before, but even he's oh my god, there's no way you got served a live one, no way. So he takes it back to give him, an actual cooked one, or at the very least, find out who gave him, the wrong order. But not really wrong order, but more an uncooked order, I guess. Also, I don't want to get into a tangent, but what restaurant, serves, a whole lobster cooked? Normally I imagine, if you order a lobster, you get the meatiest part, maybe the tail, the claws as well, where you get most of the meat. But I would just feel like a barbarian eating a whole lobster, having to tear it apart with my bare hands. Of course they give you some utensil to make it easier, but just imagine having to snap it in half and then slip out the juice from the inside. And surely if you're civilized enough, to serve lobster, you'd find a better way to make the dining experience better. Although I would admit that the fact that they served it a whole lobster made it better, because I can't imagine this prank being possible if the restaurant served the lobster chopped up and cracked, already cooked, and then take his own live lobster and painfully for the poor guy cut it in half and not to imitate what he got served on the dish. But anyways, enough culinary talk. I feel like if I was a server in a situation, if I was the same one, or the friend of the person, of the previous guy that served him the lobster, I'd be more there's simply no way we gave you a live one. We serve these lobsters every single day. For us to mistake a live one and give you that one would just be impossible. But that's the main trump card with pranks, where you catch someone so off guard that they legitimately, the normal logic part of the brain just get bypassed and they just start apologizing. Especially if you're an employee at a restaurant, where the first thing you always fall into when someone's complaining is just apologizing and then getting them a new meal. But come on, a whole live one. Surely you'd have faith in your own co-workers to not believe that they actually f***ed up that bad. But despite that, the worst part wasn't when he took it back. It's more so when the manager comes in and apologizes and tries to give an explanation on how he could have messed up, even though he didn't.
Are you on the table for the lobster?
Yeah.
They put it on the window for the cook to make it, and the server came and he just grabbed it.
Oh.
So
So he's just gonna cook it?
yeah, they're gonna cook it.
You're cooking the lobster, bro.
Thank you so much.
No way, bro.
He's cooking lobster.
Man, I respect this kind of guy. You can tell he's worked for 10 jobs and he wants to make sure every single person that goes through the front door comes out and leaves with a good experience. But I'd have to say, I don't think in 10 years he's ever had someone be served a whole live lobster. So the best possible way he could try to come up with a solution on how it happened, more so to give comfort to the customer, is just saying maybe they messed up somewhere in the process. But part of me feels like the manager himself somewhat believed that it was an honest mistake and not some scheme from the broccoli hair prankster. Because I can only imagine him going back to the first server, trying to get an explanation of what happened. And of course, when you're in a situation, the only excuse you could say, if you knew what happened, is being like, sir, the guy clearly brought his own live lobster, don't you believe me? Which, sadly, doesn't sound like the strongest defense. So anyways, the prank ends with the chef, like, recooking the lobster he probably guessed he already did, and then giving it back to him, like, with the server. Which, I don't know why the guy was so surprised that I actually cooked them, when he very clearly made it seem like it was the wrong order, or they messed up, and he wants a new one. I'm not gonna lie, I somewhat believe, like, that lobster was his own pet from home they wanted for this prank, you know, for a Q1, because he wasn't expecting it to be dropped on a pot of boiling water and die painfully. Because honestly, there was that slight bit of panic in his voice from what you can hear. But the reason why I wanted to talk about this video is because me personally, I didn't hate it that much. I found it kind of funny, you know, having a lobster right there on the plate walking around, crawling around, duh. And it did feel a bit of awkward having the manager and the waiter apologize and redoing the meal, but honestly, like, that's mainly where, like, the bad part of the video for me just ends. However, other people that have seen this prank seem to really, like, strongly believe that the waiter that you couldn't see before that gave him the food, like, in the first place, got fired from this, which I can't say did or didn't happen because I don't have that information in hand, but I wouldn't be surprised why people believe that when people have been fired from a prank for much less. But my main defense on why I can't purely hate this video is because at the same time, you have to believe that the guy that got interrogated by the manager, like the waiter, surely he wouldn't gaslight himself into believing that he walked through the whole distance from the kitchen to the service area. Surely he would have seen, like, the actual lobster on plate not be cooked and still, like, moving around. No matter how stressed or tired you are as a waiter, you have to believe in yourself that you wouldn't make a mistake that bad. But to be fair, every restaurant has, like, that piece of shit employee that always comes in high. So it would be fun to have, like, fate directly align to make it seem like he served them the live one. And he was so out of it, he probably believed that. I was like, oh yeah, I guess I messed up. And on one side, come on, you have to respect the life out of getting, like, 2 lobsters for free. Not for free, but, you know, I imagine getting a lobster live would be cheaper than getting it cooked. So he technically, more or less, got the lobster, like, served perfectly by a skilled chef just for free. And you know what? I am slightly biased because when I first watched it, it really felt like an Eric Andre skit where he'd make it, like, go really insane, where it starts off calm, but it ends with him, like, you know, like, diving into a tank full of live lobsters, having them more, like, pinch his body and, like, his dick as well. Meanwhile, like, you have a nice couple, like, there on the side just enjoying the meal. So that's just my small excuse why I can't purely hate this video. If you did personally because of the guy that might have gotten fired, I can't blame you. But me personally, unless, like, the guy comes out saying that he did get fired because, like, of the prankster, maybe then I would believe it. But right now, I'm still at bliss, you know, like, being ignorant.